Make the ground shake.
Hello gods and goddesses, welcome to TechFan95's Awilix guide. This was suggested by Felixtwitch. Look him up, not too bad. Pretty awesome dude, or dudette, I don't know. Anyway, let's go ahead and go over a quick guide of her abilities here. Her passive is pretty nice. If Awilix strikes first when out of combat, she increases her physical power for a short duration by 30%. That is huge. I'll talk about here in a little bit further into the video, I'll talk about a good way on how to combo that with some of your abilities and get the best damage output possible. Now her one ability, Summon Suku, this is one of the reasons I love Awilix the most for jungling. I feel like she has the best mobility because of her own personal mount. Pretty much is just a panther, and you gain 25% movement speed, but the strafing left or right is slowed by 50%. Kind of a bummer, but you shouldn't really need that. This is a good thing to use for getting around the jungle fast and dipping out of shitty situations. And if you cancel the ability while on it, then it doesn't use the cooldown. It won't trigger it. It's also really good. But you can pounce on these people through walls. You can pounce through walls. That's also good for escaping or initiating. Now, Feather Step. Awilix flips over the last enemy she hit within 1.5 seconds, rooting, crippling, and dealing damage as she passes over them. The damage dealt is modified based on the next attack in Awilix's basic attack progression. If the next attack is her third attack, then she also hits all targets. I'm right here, dude. She also hits all targets in the area around her. So, the best way to do this is to go when you with your passive, you summon Suku, run up, cancel the ability. 1, 2, Feather Step. 2 attacks, then Feather Step, because not only does it do more damage because it scales off of your next basic attack, but it also goes in an AoE. And that's nice. And a 0.6 second root and cripple. Now her 3 ability, Moonlight Charge, Suku comes to Awilix's aid, rushing forward and damaging all enemies. If hit from the side or behind, enemies are also knocked up into the air. This combo is really well with your ulti, and your ulti, all the power of the move, blah blah blah, immediately pulling to her the closest enemy god she is facing that is either leaping or knocked up into the air. Now since your Moonlight Charge does a knockup, followed by your ulti, you can also use your ulti through walls. And I will probably add a little video clip on how cool that can work out. Especially you have like a Sylvanas on your team with their ulti, a Geb with his 2 ability, I think. Yeah. And this ability also works with a Neath trying to backflip, a Hades during a burrow, and there's one other one. I don't remember, but there's like a blue thing that pops up if they're in the air. Oh, a Hu Yi trying to fly off. Awilix is then bathed in moonlight, gaining bonus attack speed and physical power, along with protections against root slows and knockbacks for 6 seconds. The attack speed progression is 30% up to 70%, and the power is from 20 power to 60 power. Now that's a huge boost. You don't only want to it's recommended to use it when it's knocked up, but if you're in a situation where it's like 2v1, you want to go ahead and pop your ulti just to get the upper hand into it. So yeah, quick recap, your passive, the 30% extra physical power, is best to use with your Feather Step after hitting them twice. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good do-over right there. Let's go ahead and go into items. Jungling, you're going to start out with a Bumba's Mask, always. Active, get tier 1 Hand of the Gods, because early game clear on camps is really slow with the Awilix. That's the biggest problem I have. So we'll get tier 1 of that, tier 1 of your boots, and then 1 of each potion.
Okay, sure.
What I do, you can not get the potions if you wish, just to keep a little extra gold on you for boosting up your boots a lot quicker. But after you do this, you're going to go ahead and get Warrior Tabby for the extra power and movement speed. After Warrior Tabby, you're going to get Transcendence. Now this, a lot of people don't agree with it, and I do not know why. This helps out a whole lot early game. With your, Awilix is really mana hungry for me anyway. Maybe I'm playing her wrong. I don't know. But you gain 15 mana per stack, and we see 5 stacks for a god kill, 1 stack for a minion kill, max of 50 stacks. Additionally, 3% of your mana is converted into physical power. That's just another physical power buff. It's always nice. So go ahead and get that as soon as possible, because with you jungling and ganking, you are going to get that up super wickedly quick. After we do Transcendence, we're going to do Jotun's Wrath. Jotun's Wrath for the cooldown reduction. Come on. Pretty nice. A little bit extra mana, some penetration, and that 40 physical power. Now, one thing I have noticed about Awilix is it's all about physical power and penetration. That's all you ever want to get on her, because her 2 ability stacks with your physical, or your basic attacks. So the higher physical power you have and penetration, the more damage that's going to do. I've hit people for like 900 on with that 2 ability from a full build, and that's just nuts. So after Jotun's Wrath, we're going to get Executioner.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Oh, why are you getting Executioner? Well, because like I said, the 2 ability, Feather Step, that stacks with your next basic attack, and you hit them twice, and that puts 2 stacks of Executioner on them. And Executioner reduces physical protections by 6 and additional 8% for 3 seconds. You got 16% reduced protections with another 12 reduced. So that'll just boost up your damage output even more. So after Executioner, we're going to go Titan's Bane for the extra physical power and 33% physical penetration.
Oh, it's so pretty.
And after this build, I'll go ahead and go into the God Builder guide on Awilix and show you what the stats are after this build. The last item is very situational. I have Brawler's Beat Stick, the Crusher, or Quinn Size. I don't use Quinn Size very much at all, only unless if it's really the other team is very tanky. And if they're very tanky, then Quinn Size does a 4% extra damage from their maximum health, so that helps turn them down a little bit more. But if you have like a Hell or an Aphrodite, anybody who does a lot of healing, Brawler's Beat Stick should be your #1 choice, and you should probably get that before Executioner. If you have a big healer on your team before Executioner, get Brawler's Beat Stick and then Executioner. But if you don't have a big healer on the other team, what I love to get is the Crusher. Crusher gives you an extra 40 physical power and 20 physical penetration, and with me going with the Crusher, I get max physical pen, which is just amazing. I burn and shoot so fast, it's not even funny. And the Crusher, each basic attack against towers and phoenixes grants a stack that increases attack speed by 6% and movement speed by 2% or 3% for 2 seconds, max of 5 stacks. So start beating the crap out of a phoenix, and then all of a sudden the team comes in. Either 1, you've got the extra attack speed to take them down, or 2, you've got the extra movement speed to get the hell out of there. I've always liked that. Personal preference on the last item, I guess, but this is what I always roll with. You'll end up selling your Bumba's Mask
Oh, it's
and
so
getting the Crusher.
pretty.
Throughout the game, it's situational with your actives. Since you have Hand of the Gods, as soon as you can, go ahead and load that up all the way. Your second active, if there's an Ares, get beads. A lot of the time, what I end up going is Greater Sprint. That's a lie. A lot of the times, what I end up going is Enfeebling Curse, because during team fights, people try and be getting away or you get away, and it's just a hell of a lot better to be able to pop that down and get the hell out. Because their movement speed is going to be slowed by 40%. Come on. And their attack speed lower by 30%. This is going to help out a lot with getting out of team fights or securing those team fight kills and getting that deicide and winning the game. Yeah. And then, of course, if it gets that far, get
Okay,
yourself a
sure.
get yourself a power potion. Let's go right ahead. Now, real quick,
We ride.
this is what Suko looks like. I'll go ahead and show you how the ability scales. So, with Feather Step, with Feather Step, 1, 2, boom.
Let the chaos begin!
That's how that works. And we'll go over here. So, do the knockup. Oh. Well, that's embarrassing. I didn't think that wasn't going to work. See if this guy.
Bathe in the glow.
1.
Watch your head.
Awesome kill!
I'm gonna go ahead and be back here in a little bit. I am going to go ahead and get Transcendence built so that way we can go ahead and show you how much physical power we'll be dealing with. Yeah, and we are
Oh, hi.
back. Oh, hi Cricket. We are back, and sorry.
Or were you talking to someone who's not here?
I'm talking to myself because I'm doing the video. I guess I accidentally clicked the button.
Gotcha.
Sorry. And
Don't worry about it.
and I accidentally put on the power potion, but with 50 stacks of Transcendence, with the build that I suggest that I always run with, I am looking at 496 power. That's pretty legit. Pretty nuts. Now let's go ahead and see if your team gets lucky enough to go ahead and get the Fire Giant.
Poor little thing.
So, just soloed Fire Giant, but with the Fire Giant buff, you are looking at 561 physical power. Come here, Ra. I'm about to show you how this works. One thing I always like to do when initiating,
Jump.
Enemy falls before your might.
so 2 hits, Feather Step, I just hit him for 816. That's pretty nice, pretty nice. Anyways, this is my first build video. It was suggested by Felixtwitch. Thank you very much for hunting me down on Smite to ask for this. It made me feel really good. So go ahead and comment, like, subscribe, anything you guys want, let me know. I am down to do whatever you ask. Alrighty, so here is the God Builder right here, so I can go ahead and show you guys what the full build will be looking like. Of course, you won't be able to see the full stacks of the Transcendence or the benefits of Executioner through this, but it will give you a pretty good idea of what you're dealing with. So with Boots, Transcendence, Jotuns, Executioner, Titan's Bane, and then the Crusher. Without the stacks showing, we are looking at 441 basic attack damage, 335 power from physical items, 31 penetration, physical penetration. And that is nice. No crit, because crits are through basic attacks, and you really don't need any crits, because all of your damage is going in your 2. And like I said in the video, your 2 ability hit twice, and then use it, because it scales with your basic attack damage, and with a 3rd attack it does an AoE, and it's just better to go that way. But most of your power is in your abilities, and sadly your abilities don't crit, so that's the best way to go. Now, if you do not want to go with the Crusher, due to personal preference, you can always go with Brawler's Beat Stick like I explained in the video. And with Brawler's Beat Stick, you still have the same amount of power, same amount of penetration.
Jump!
So it's really just personal preference at that point. But yeah, so this is the build that I run. These are the stats on it. If you want to go ahead and take a look for yourself, it will be available to you.